Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back to my channel, Rising with Rachel. I am Rachel, and together we rise in talking about all things cosmic and consciousness. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it does help the silly little human algorithm. As much as I don't want to be a part of that, I do want to be a part of delivering the messages that are needed so deeply in the collective consciousness right now, as we are on the forefront of the greatest spiritual revolution in all of human history, because we are witnessing all of everyone on earth ever waking up right now. And we are creating the heaven on earth that we know in our hearts is our birthright. So thank you so much for being on the forefronts with me. It's an honor to be in this battle with you. Thank you for whatever little step you take to support the human algorithm to help deliver these messages. So let's get into it. Today, I bring forth the wisdom that everything you are feeling in this now moment is perfect, is correct, is the way it's supposed to be. And I know you're going to question that, because if you are not feeling high vibrational, if you're not sat in the feelings of joy and gratitude and love and honesty all of the time, how is it that that could be perfect? How are lower vibrational feelings perfect? Well, this is why. Because your feelings are your internal GPS system, which means they are always guiding you towards your proper destination. They are always bringing you closer and closer to the place that you are supposed to be at internally. Obviously, this awareness is easier to put together when you are feeling high vibrational feelings, right? You know, when you are feeling happiness and gratitude for everything around you, that that's the truth of who you are, because it feels good. The feeling of feeling free, of feeling good, of feeling peaceful, because you are experiencing happiness, joy, gratitude, and all those higher vibrational emotions. That is how you know you are sat in the truth of where you are supposed to be, what you are constantly supposed to be able to access. You are not meant to constantly be happy. You know, we are human beings living an earthly life that's not possible. At the same time, it is, because it's not that you sit in the constant feeling of happiness, but rather that you can choose to tap into those higher vibrational feelings, because you have cultivated that happiness, that peace, that gratitude within you so much that you know that that is a well that you can always tap into in your heart, even when times are tough. Now, if you don't have that foundation built within yourself through consciously choosing those vibrational feelings, if you haven't built that house of bricks within yourself, then it's going to be really easy to just go with the wind of your emotions and allow them to bring you wherever it is, to whatever reaction, whatever thought forms, whatever belief systems, because you don't have that sense of self. You don't have that sense of, this is the house that I built within me, and it is a place that I know that I can go to retreat to even when times are bad. Obviously, when times are good, we're opening all the windows of the house, we're letting the air in. But when times are bad, do I have something that I can go into to feel safe, to shut the doors to the outside world and realize that I'm okay because I have cultivated this peace within me? I've built this house of bricks. So again, it's obvious when it comes to the higher vibrational feelings. When you are feeling those high vibe feelings, you know that you are sat in the truth of who you are at the moment. But what about those lower vibrational feelings? What about the feelings of frustration and anger and disappointment and whatever else you could be experiencing? Why are those feelings perfect? Because they are recalibrating you towards where you have to go. Like I said, your feelings, your emotions, they are your internal GPS system, always getting you to where you have to go, even the low vibrational ones. Think about getting in your car and turning on your GPS system, right? Your GPS will give you a specific route to take. However, if you miss a turn on that route, the GPS will show you a new route to get to your destination. It's not that it abandons the trip completely. It says, okay, you made a left when you should have made a right, but it's fine because I found a new way to get there. Well, that's exactly what that's exactly what your lower vibrational feelings are doing. They are giving you an opportunity to recalibrate to get to your final destination. They're giving you the opportunity to choose a new route. Because, for example, let's say you work at a job that makes you cry every day you're on your way to work. Not that this is coming from personal experience or anything, but let's say that's your current reality. Your lower vibrational feelings of frustration, disappointment, anger, when you're on your way to this job, every time you feel that, your feelings are showing up as an opportunity to signal you to choose differently. They are signaling to you, hey, every time you show up to this job, you are turning left off the route. You are getting further away from your destination. Now, don't worry, because the universe loves you and is here to support your expansion. It's going to still bring you to your final destination, no matter what route you choose. but it's a signal that you have gone off the path, that you have gone off that route that it initially wanted you on. Here's the thing. It's not something to feel shame over, because as humans going through our own conditioning, we are accustomed to certain cycles of thinking through our belief systems, debating on what we have endured our individual lives, right? So I might be prone to feeling cycles of shame if I know that I'm consciously showing up to this job, even though in my spirit it doesn't feel right. I'm going to curate now thought cycles of, I know I can do better than this. And why don't I do better than this? And why don't I have the energy to do better in this? And it's because of blah, 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 blah. It's a never ending wormhole. As much as the universe is about the specifics, it's also not. It's just trying to show you that that feeling of resistance you have within you showing up to that job is you going off your path. And it's giving you that opportunity of feeling so that you can choose the greater feeling, the lighter feeling, the feeling of, okay, even if it's not my dream job right now, maybe I just need to get out of this job and into a job that I feel more peace at internally, so that I can cultivate the energy to put towards my side hustle and my passion that I do want to ultimately make my career. Again, not that this comes from personal experience or anything. If you've ever listened to Abraham Hicks, then you know this really well. But the way that you manifest, period, but the way that you also create your dream life is through following the path of least resistance. Because when you follow the path of least resistance, you feel good internally. When you feel good internally, you raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you become a magnet for things on the same frequency as your high vibration, which means the dream life that you want to live starts coming in. The soul family that you've been yearning for finally starts to find you. All of the abundance that is in your birthright starts to make its way into your reality because you consciously chose to feel better. And that has a domino effect. Everything in this universe has a ripple effect. So you need to start paying attention to your feelings. Obviously, again, with the higher vibrational ones, it's pretty easy to realize you're on the right path, you're on the right track, you're on the right route. But when it comes to the lower vibrational ones, they are not something to be swept under the rug or ignored. They are there to be nurtured, to be observed, because also when you observe your feelings, when you observe the thought patterns that come with those feelings, right? Because let's say you have a feeling of shame, that's going to trigger, like what came first, the chicken or the egg, then a thought cycle of shameful thoughts, because the law of attraction in this universe that we reside in is real. When you have a feeling vibrating at a certain frequency, thoughts of the same frequency are going to find their way to you. That's why I said it's the chicken or the egg. What came first? It's a never ending cycle until you end the cycle. It's up to you to either switch your thoughts or your feelings, therefore changing the other, therefore creating that domino effect that allows you to eventually raise your vibration and become a magnet for your most abundant life. It's up to you to sit with the feeling and observe them, because by observing them, you take away their control over you. If you go to fight with your thoughts or your feelings and you go to sweep them under the rug or just shame them, they will absolutely fight you back. They will no doubt MMA your ass all the way to the moon. But if you sit and observe them and you say, hey, I see you. What do you need from me? I'm here to love you. I acknowledge you. How can I help you? What are you trying to show me? You take away their power, and instead of them controlling you and choosing your next reaction unconsciously, you are the one to consciously navigate whatever comes up for you. It always ties back to the power of now. Always. I'm telling you, be here now means something more multidimensional every single time that I talk about it, every single time that I think about it, every single time that I choose to embody it, because the present moment has all of the answers you need. If you are not present, you will not be able to tell that you are feeling frustration. You will not be able to tell that that frustration with the person that's driving slow in front of you on the road has everything to do with your mother and something that stemmed from childhood. Because if you are not present, you won't have the ability to feel what's in your body, let alone be the observer of your own thoughts and your feelings. You need to cultivate this space within you where you can observe what's going on within you, what's coming up for you without judging it, without thinking about it. It sounds a little confusing, but it's totally possible, because within you resides the thoughts that are existing, but also the being that witnesses the thoughts. You need to stand more in the place of the witness. And how does that happen? You start being more present. You start going for walks without your phone. You start getting out into nature more. You start spending time around your animals more. Start routinely practicing your hobbies more. Whatever brings you into a flow state where all you have is you, yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, That's how you cultivate the witness. And that happens in the now moment. And when you're present in the now moment and you can start identifying the feelings that come up with you, the thoughts that follow them, etc., you then come into this place where you realize, I'm not them. And that gives you power over them because you realize they are not you. As humans, we tend to identify with our feelings and our thoughts. We say, I am depressed instead of, oh, there's depression. And that's something that revolutionized my thinking and awareness, especially when it comes to mental health. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and CPTSD. Whenever it is I would have flashbacks, for example, that would then bring with them lower vibrational feelings and thoughts, and I would get into these cycles. I was able to cultivate this distance between myself and what I was experiencing and say, that's not me. The truth of who I am is not these thoughts that come and go, because there's still a being here that's present after they leave. I am not the lower vibrational feelings that come up of depression, because when I feel joy, I'm still here. When the depression is gone, I'm still here. So it's when you're able to separate yourself from your experiences, from the phenomena of thoughts and feelings that arise for you, and being present in the now moment, that you can sit in that witness space so that you can start to dissect what it is your feelings are trying to show you, what route they're trying to bring you towards. Because let's say, like, I'm crying on my way to work. I'm present enough to realize that I'm crying every day on my way to work. And I have this pattern recognition of, I don't feel good every day. Every day at 3 p.m., my mental health goes to the if I'm able to even just start putting that piece together alone, that's me being able to distinguish. That's what needs to change. It's the thing that's making me miserable. The feeling of depression comes up every day at 3 p.m. when I have to go to this job. So maybe I can start doing things to get myself away from this job. Maybe I can pour myself into my hobbies. Or if I simply don't have the energy to do that, because that's a really real thing, maybe I can just make my load a little lighter and work a job that might not be what I want to do yet, but it gives me more peace mentally, internally, through my feelings. And through that peace, I will have enough energy to then pour myself into my passions. You also need to be realistic with yourself and your emotions, because I've realized, especially people in the spiritual community, tell you that you just kind of have to drop everything you've always been and everything you've always done. And that's not possible. That's why I actually have a podcast called It's Time to Wake Up. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and also YouTube. So check out the links below, where I talk about the nuances of embodying your highest self, because it is way more than just journaling your feelings away, doing yoga and picking up a crystal. Yes, those things are amazing tools to help you along your route, but they are not ultimately the steps that you need to be taking that are actually doing the alchemization of your feelings. But it's through that alchemization that you get closer and closer to being the person that you were born here to be, which is why paying attention to your feelings, being present, is so crucial. It is so important that you are able to realize what is going on in your body and in your mind and when, so that you can start putting these pieces together and start recalibrating your route. Because of the universe we live in, it's not that we'll ever reach our destination, right? We might not reach our final destination for multiple lifetimes. Our final destination is when we merge back with source consciousness. And even when you are a spirit, that might not be your lesson. So don't stick on the fact that you are supposed to reach this certain increment, this certain potential, this certain level, and that's what makes you valuable. It's not. The universe we live in is in the name of constant expansion. Everything, including the universe itself, is in constant expansion. It will never hit a final destination because it's just ever going. And that's something that our brains, our little human brains, can't wrap its mind around fully, but it doesn't matter, because it's not supposed to. You are just supposed to hang on to the fact that you are supposed to be 1% better every single day. You are supposed to be following the path of least resistance and allowing yourself to follow the things that make you feel good, because by feeling good, you create your dream life. Let go of the opinions and expectations and thoughts of what might come with that. It doesn't matter where these roads lead you. It's that you feel good along the way. It's that you are every day embodying your highest potential, your highest self, through feeling good. And who doesn't want to feel good? Why would you want to exist in a life where every day you don't feel well? Because when you start cultivating this feeling of feeling good all the time, of following the path of least resistance, even when things get harder and the universe turns up the volume, because it's not that things get easier when you start feeling good, right? Like they do, but they also don't. You don't just stop going through problems. It's that problems get easier to deal with because you understand how to follow this path of least resistance and how to stand in that truth of who you are, which is that higher vibrational being. So even when things around you aren't higher vibrational, you know that you built that house within you to retreat into and remember who you are. So yes, your feelings are perfect. Whatever you are experiencing right here in this moment is perfect because it's giving you an opportunity to take your next step. It's showing you the route that you're on or that you need to recalibrate to get back onto, all leading you to the embodiment of your highest self so that you can create the dream life you know in your heart is rightfully yours. Thank you so much for tuning in and allowing me to hold your hand as we are all walking each other home here at this crucial time on earth. It's an honor to be here with you. I see you, I love you, and I honor all of the work that you do within every moment, every thought, every day, every decision that you take to being your best self and to creating the best life that you can. Because when you take care of you, you take care of the collective. So thank you. It only goes up from here. I'm following my path of least resistance, and I hope that after this video, you choose to do the same because you deserve it. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.